Guys, welcome back to my channel. Myself Subbalakshmi from Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. Today in this session, we are going to see a topic which comes under database management systems. So the topics to be covered are introduction, database models and schemas, and then instances. So introduction, as we all know, the database management systems are a software systems which is used to store, retrieve and run queries on data. And a database management system, it serves as an interface between an end user and a database. So it allows the user to create, read, update and delete data in the database. So the database models, as it describe how a database logical structure is represented. In database management system, the data models are essential for introducing abstraction. It specify how the data is linked to one another as well as how it is handled and stored within the system. So it is basically of three types. So the first is conceptual data model, representational data model and physical data model. So let's see one by one. The first is conceptual data model. As the conceptual data model, it represents the overall structure of the data which is required to support the business requirements independent of any software or the data storage structure. It also includes overall view of the structure of the data and business context. It includes ER model, which stands for entity relationship model. It describes the structure of a database with the help of a diagram which is known as entity relationship diagram. As you all can see here in the picture, so it is a student ER model. The student, it includes student ID, student name and student age. So these are called as attributes, and the course, it also includes course ID and course name. As I told, these are attributes, and the student and course, this is known as entities here. The next is representational data model. So this type of data model, it is used to represent only the logical part of the database and does not represent the physical structure of database. It allows us to focus primarily on the design part of the database. So the advantage of using this representational data model is it provides a foundational base for the physical model. The next is physical data model. So it is a database specific model that represents relational data objects. For example, like tables, columns, primary key and foreign keys and their relationships. So it includes few characteristics like it describes the data need for the single project or application, though it may be integrated with other physical data models based on the project scope. And it contains relationships between the tables, like which addresses cardinality and nullability of the relationships. So the other data models are hierarchical data model. This database, it is a data model in which the data is stored in a form of records and organized into tree-like structure. As you all can see in the picture, in which a one parent node can have many child nodes, which is connected through links, like the vehicle in which two-wheeler and four-wheeler, which contains many child nodes like bike, scooter, car, tractor, minibus. With these are all connected through links. And the next is network model. So the network model in database management system, it is a hierarchical model that is used to represent many to many relationships among the database constraints. So in the picture, as you all can see, the college, which can consist of many departments like department 1, department 2 and department 3, which is connected to director through link. And the next is relational data model. So the relational data model, as it is most widely accepted data model, in which it is formed in the form of columns of a two-dimensional table, in which each row is known as tuple and each column represents the attribute here. So the attributes here are student ID, name, branch, and the rows, as you all can see, 101, 102, 103 and 104. So these are the rows, and here we have three attributes. The next is object data model. In this, the data and the relationship are contained in a single structure, which is referred as an object. So here all objects have multiple relationship between them. So here we have employee and department as an example, in which the employee consists of name, job title, phone number, salary, department ID as attributes. But in the department we have department ID, department name and all. So the next is database schemas. So the database schemas it refers to the logical and visual configuration of the entire relational database. So the database objects are often grouped and displayed as tables, functions and relations. A schema, it describes the organization and storage of a data in the database and defines the relationship between various tables. So it is basically of three types, like physical database schema, logical database schema and view schema. So the physical database schema, as it pertains to the actual storage of the data, and it forms of storage like files, indices, etc. And a logical database schema, which defines all the logical constraints that need to be applied on the data stored. And view schema, as it is defines the design of the database at the view level of the data abstraction. It defines how the end user will interact with the database system. So this is an example for the schema, as it is a student database schema. The student database schema, in which the student, it consists of fields like name, student number, class, major, in which the student name, it is a primary key present in the student. And the course, it also consists of fields like course name, course number, credit hours, department, in which the course name, it is the primary key present in the course. Prerequisite, in which the course number and prerequisite number, these are the two fields present in this. And the section consists of five fields like section identifier, course number, semester, year, instructor, and in which the section identifier, it is the primary key here. And the grade report, which consists of three fields like student number, section identifier, grade. So the next is instances, as the instances, it can be defined as a data or information, it is stored in the database at a particular moment of the time, which is called as instance. The record, like the database schema, that is defined variables in tables which belong to specific database, and the record of these variables at a particular moment are called as instance of the database. So for example, let's say we have a single table, student in the database. Today the table has 100 records. So the instance of the database has 100 records. And the instance, if let's say if we are going to add another 100 records in the table by tomorrow, so the instance of database tomorrow will have 200 records in table. In short, at a particular moment, the data stored in a database is called the instance. That changes over the time when we add or delete the data from the database. Thank you guys for watching.